Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film, One Lucky Elephant. This is a documentary about an elephant called Flora, who's owned by this man named David, who's been running a circus named the Flora Circus, and she's been the star attraction in the circus, and now he wants to give her a good home. And the whole film is about him finding her a home, and a right home, and a home that would be good for Flora, not just, dumping her at a zoo or something. He really wants to find her a good home where she'll spend the rest of her life. And she's only about, I think she's close to 20, and elephants live about 50 years, so it'd be the rest of her life, and he wanted her to have like a really good environment with other elephants to hang out with. Flora has been around people her whole life, and he wants really to give her a life with other elephants. And she's too big now. It used to be when they first got Flora that she'd come to parties and she'd always be around when she was a little baby elephant, but then she grew up and that was too dangerous because, she might, just a small movement might like kill someone. Eventually she was just kind of in her own area by herself with like a trainer and David loved her very, very much. And Flora wasn't mistreated throughout most of her life. I think she was treated incredibly well. She was always well fed. She was always looked after. She was always loved. I think it makes it a lot more unique is that this film kind of ignores his eccentricities. I mean, sure, David runs a circus, so that's already pretty eccentric to begin with, but it doesn't really play off that so much. It's more about his relationship with Flora and how he loves this elephant. And even like the poster of this movie is actually one of my favorite posters I've seen all year, where he's hugging the elephant's trunk. Is just like, it's a beautiful poster. I really love that image. It's a really sweet, heartwarming film, but I think its portrayal is really just intelligent, and it didn't just rush to the knee-jerk, gut decision. I feel like the filmmakers really thought about how they're going to chronicle David and Flora, how David's trying to find a new home for Flora. You do have a bond with certain animals, and obviously he overstretched his relationship with Flora quite a bit, and Flora's, like he says in the film, Flora's not a dog or a daughter, she's an elephant, and he needed her to go on and do that. There's a lot of things that David did with Flora that he really regrets. They basically trained Flora like a horse and kind of beat her. They went to the best elephant trainer they knew, but he was very rough, and I think, he didn't really know what he was doing, but Flora also led this incredible life and was spoiled by David. And I definitely think he really loved Flora, and I don't think that's just because she was the elephant in his circus. And editing's very good when you think this spans over like 10 years. And they have various different cameras shooting that they cut together. I like internal films, like an internal small character film. And it's nice seeing that in a documentary like this. I think it's as much Flora's film as it is David's film. And seeing Flora adjust to her new world is tough. It even reminds me of a film I really liked last year called My Dog Tulip. It's a very healthy and smart film about, owning a pet. And, maybe an elephant. I've never owned an elephant, so maybe I'll own an elephant and I'll really hate this movie. But as of right now, I don't plan on owning any elephants. But I found this film really sweet. It made me sad just because I can relate with my turtle. Not that that's all the same thing, but I could feel for David, because it is hard to give up a pet that you've had around for so long and loved for so long. And I had this turtle, Trevor, who I did have to find a new home for just because he was, well, I didn't know it was a she till I gave her up. Eventually, like, this big tank that I had gotten her was just too small. She was just going to keep growing, and I found her a nice sanctuary in Florida. Now she lives in this nice kind of property in this pond with all these other turtles that were bought in Chinatown. And it was an emotional film for me because I own, I have 3 cats, and I think mainly because I gave up a pet once. I didn't cry during this movie, but I got closer than I did in any other movie this year. So if you have seen One Lucky Elephant and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.